generation. The home of urban soul. In the beginning, there was morning radio. But now there is Radio Generations, the people's breakfast. Curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The people's breakfast. Your morning, your voice, your journey. Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights, Radio Generation.
Indeed, welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights. My name is Mungala, Mbuvi, and this is the People's Breakfast. Sitting across me is someone apparently alikuwa amekimbizwa na goons. Ama ilikuwa ni story tu.
Wacha hiyo tongea baadaye.
A very good morning to you, Triciah.
Yeah, good morning to you. Good morning to everyone. I'm okay.
Yes.
I'm fine.
Yeah,
everything quite okay.
How was your trip home yesterday after, our office meetings and everything else that we did here?
Well, I didn't have a lot of challenges yesterday getting myself back to my house because I think in my area nothing had already started as of the time I was leaving.
Okay.
Yeah, but things now escalated to bad, to worst later in the day and actually at night.
When you say later in the day, like at what time? Midday?
Well, from my area now, that is from my area, I started hearing gunshots at around 6 p.m.
Ah, okay. So that was much later into the evening.
Yeah, just much later in the evening, and actually, it went up to I think even up to midnight. What? So now in the morning, as you're waking up, you're going to work.
You're not sure.
Unakutana na mawe kwa barabara.
Okay.
You're like, these people came up to this far.
Yes. Poleni sana. Well, on my way home, the only place I think I encountered issues was at Mlolongo. But after that, nothing else. And it wasn't really like an issue. It was just wananchi and police looking at each other, waiting for who will, throw the first stone. You understand? So it's like the people, because on one side, the police were on the roads, both the expressway and the main road. Na walikuwa wanaangaliana tu. Ni kama walikuwa wanangoja rusha ni rushe. Askari nao walikuwa wanasema
wanangojana nani ataanza.
But I actually saw something that I've only been seeing on TV, but I experienced it for myself the first time. The cops talking to wananchi kawaida tu. We see this on TV, but I actually saw a few cops talking to, wananchi and probably trying to get a feeling of what's happening. Do you need any help anywhere? Kind of situation. They were very cordial. At one point, I even thought maybe huyu karao wameamua kujoin wananchi kwa, just commemorating the passing on of Kenyans who were affected by the maandamano of 2024.
Depending on the situation that was on the ground.
Yes.
And even we talked about it yesterday here with the guest that we had yesterday, Fanya Mambo. And we said there is usually an option.
Yes.
There is an option. Wacha kuweka kifua. Yeah?
Yeah.
Wacha kuweka kifua sana.
Fungua roho. Watu wafunguliane roho.
Yes, sometimes just take it cool.
Yeah.
It's not a must sasa sayote just because you have the gun. It's not a must that you pull the trigger.
True.
Yeah, it's not a must. Sometimes you can just reason with you ask these young people, what do you want?
Yeah, I want to commend those police officers, specifically the ones that I passed. There were officers at is it Madaraka? Madaraka nile iko pale nini just behind Nyayo. There were cops there. They were manning a roadblock. They were very cordial, very courteous. They just looked like walikuwa tu sawa, everything was okay. They were literally just providing security, period. They had no drama with anyone. Then of course now the cops at Mlolongo, big shout out to you guys. You were very calm and composed. The crowds were very huge. Obviously outnumbering the number of police officers that we had there. But at the end of the day, walijibeba na decorum, walijibeba na heshima, and also the crowds, by the way, a big shout out to those crowds that exercised restraint and order, because that was the whole issue anyway, because we want to have peaceful encounters with the police, with the government, and with everyone else.
Just with everyone. Yeah. So
asante tena sana, because you did well, but we cannot ignore some of the happenings that happened that ended up tragically. For instance, a lot of property was destroyed. A lot of people were injured. Even police officers were
also injured, and also people lost their lives.
People lost their lives, and
yes,
that was a very sad state of affairs.
Yeah,
because the whole issue of yesterday was that we shouldn't ever have to lose a single life ever again. A single Kenya, a foreigner, or whatever. We shouldn't experience this
it's
ever
so
again.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to those who lost their lives, and those who are still in hospitals. Tunasema pole, quick recovery.
Right. I want to single out a specific issue. You remember there was a security guard that was shot yesterday.
Yeah.
By a stray bullet.
Yes.
He wasn't in the streets. He was securing Steamer Plaza, HQ's at Kenya Power.
Yeah.
He was literally just doing his job, but ended up losing his life. He didn't throw a stone towards anyone, as far as we know, at the very least. He was just an innocent bystander and ended up losing his life. By the time they were taking him to Mama Lucy Hospital, he had already lost his life. Of course, there were a lot of questions people are asking. Mbona mumtoe, Steamer Plaza? Steamer Plaza iko hapo kunaitwa nini? Parklands.
Around Parklands.
Yes. Drive him all the way to Mama Lucy huko side za Umoja sio hadi Komarok. And I think we need to look at a specific issue here. By the time they were taking him to hospital, he had already passed on because he was actually pronounced dead on arrival.
Yes.
However, if you saw the pictures of him on the ground before they even took him to the hospital, he had already passed on. However, I still feel, why are we taking him all the way to Mama Lucy? Mbona tungempeleka Avenue iko hapo Paki. Mpisha iko Parklands as well. Aga Khan iko. Like, why did we take him all the way to Mama Lucy? Some questions there for me are not adding up. And also we have Guru Nanak Hospital, which is very close to Steamer Plaza as well. Like, as compared or as opposed to taking him all the way to Mama Lucy, hapo kuna maswali. Another situation I witnessed that broke my heart was a female police officer who was attacked in the Nairobi CBD.
Yeah, it was so unfortunate.
Not that it should have happened to a man, not that it should have happened to anyone else or even a member of the public, but guys, heshima hata ya kina mama ilienda wapi? That one, to be honest,
things were just so bad.
Yeah.
But I would also like to commend also some of the Gen Zs who assisted her, and even some of the human rights defenders who also assisted some of these police officers.
Right.
Yeah, would like to commend you guys for that work that you did.
Yes.
I even saw actually one of the protesters. I think that guy was just there. I mean to just cause peace.
All right.
I think it was just intentional he was there to mediate, but now he was also attacked by the police.
Yes, I saw him.
Do you remember?
I think it was on Mbingu Street. I could be wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw that one, and it was just like, okay, you guys have assisted you, and now you're here.
Yeah, because
you're attacking
he
me.
was actually raising an alarm because one of there was an officer who was being attacked.
Yeah.
We didn't see that part of the officer who was being attacked. But
yes.
At least we saw the part where he was telling them that, guys, I was trying to raise an alarm, trying to let you know that one of you is actually being compromised here. Come and help. Alafu mnanichapa. So, hey, again, these are the places where I'd like to have these questions of what was going through the officers' minds. And especially because I saw several of them whipping this guy, others slapping him. Yes. And I was just wondering, what's going on there, man? What's going on?
Yeah. There's also another story of these other police officers who were trying to attack two young ladies who were seated somewhere on some stairs.
Oh, yes. That was at GPO.
Yes.
General Post Office. Yes.
Yeah, and these guys are like, you guys, we are just seated here. We are peaceful. We haven't done anything. Tumewakosea nini?
And in that particular clip, I saw another several police officers trying to talk sense into their colleagues who are whipping these ladies.
Yeah.
Zile za bana.
Acha.
Crew bana. Police officers wanaitananga crew. Zile za crew bana. Tafadhali.
I saw one who tried to defend them. I saw that.
Yes. Another clip that also went viral is of a protester holding a Kenyan flag. I don't know what street this is or what road that was, but he was just holding the flag, and then a police officer came and slapped him na akamwambia toka hapa. And the guy didn't move. And he slapped him again, and the guy didn't move. And there were several police officers in front of him, probably even 10, 30, more than 20 cops in front of him, and he didn't move. My friend.
Another.
What kind of courage is that?
Another one is of this artist. Did you see Calligraph Jones?
And Arrow Boy.
And Arrow Boy. You know Arrow Boy,
Yes.
apparently he did a song. I don't know whether you've listened to that.
I have
this song.
Yeah,
he did a song, and I know it did not sit well with people, especially the police.
Yes.
It didn't sit well with them, and I saw how he was wiped.
Yes.
Pigwa nyaunyo hapo mbili.
Ata Arrow Boy, I think, has also done a song called Maandamano. I could be wrong on this
He did
one.
a song like 1 week ago.
Yes.
A song like 1 week ago.
So Arrow Boy was alikulwa nyaunyo kwa mgongo, and he was unflinched. Do you know, umeichapwa na nyaunyo?
Ina uchungu kweli.
That whip is very painful. So we witnessed some things yesterday, and some of them obviously they made Kenyans proud. They made me proud of Kenyans, but of course some of them I was very disappointed.
I saw a police misusing our tear gas.
Okay, how so?
Did you in that case, that clip of Arrow Boy and Calligraph Jones, did you see when he tried to tell them just go, and they were like, they're not moving? Alirudi nyuma akatoa tear gas. Unarusha tu where there is not. I thought this tear gas huwa inarushwa place.
Yes, niliona hiyo tear gas.
Did you see?
Sasa
like he just retreated back.
Yes.
And then akatoa tear gas.
Akarelease.
Akarusha.
Now unarushia watu wawili, Calligraph na Arrow Boy, tear gas.
There were just few people, hata sijui kama walikuwa wamefika hata 10 mbele yao.
Surely. Okay, I know these two gentlemen, let me call them these two boys, are heavily built. You know, Calligraph is, he's buff.
Yeah.
Arrow Boy pia jamaa ameshona. Uliona venye alikuwa amevaa hiyo vest yake. Alikuwa
maandamano na
alikuwa anakuoneshana misuli kidogo.
Lakini aliwekwa nyaunyo.
But they were very peaceful. Na alitandikwa nyonyo.
Ilibidi amekimbia after the tear gas. Aliongezwa ingine ikabidi amekimbia.
Kwanza niliona kuna mmoja alipatiwa ya makalio.
Ndio hiyo.
So my question is, these are just two very unarmed peaceful and we know this is Calligraph. This is Arrow Boy. Unajua watu hawana noma na mtu. Sijaiona hata popote pale Arrow Boy ama Calligraph amekuwa engaged in any violence or violent altercation. Nothing ever. I have never seen. So why, of all the there's some people of course you will give, let me call it special treatment. Not because they are special, but because they are public figures and they're people that you know. It's like meeting a politician in the street. Unaweza ongelesha tu mheshimiwa, si lazima umchape. Sisemi pia mwananchi wa kawaida anafaa kuchapwa. I'm just saying, lakini huyu ni MP ama ni senator ama ni governor ama ni, unaelewa, ama ni MCA. Kuna tu ka level of understanding mnafaa kuwa nako.
Like I told you.
Yes.
Arrow Boy did a song.
Yes.
I want you to go and listen to that song.
All right. I don't know.
He did a song last week.
Yeah.
Just go listen to that song.
I doubt.
You will know why.
Yes.
He had to be whipped.
Surely.
No one deserves. But
no
I'm telling
to be whipped.
I'm telling you why you would want. Knew something will happen.
Why the cops would want to whip him?
Yes.
Sawa. Perhaps maybe for today only. We might be able to. I don't know, but that's just one of those.
But we don't mean that alikuwa ni lazima achapwe. Yeah. So
all right, before we get into the news of the day, do you have a quote for us?
Yeah, before the quote of the day, of course, today is a special day also. The world is celebrating or commemorating some special days here.
Okay.
And the first day is the International Day in support of victims of torture. Yeah, International Day in support of victims of torture.
That is befitting. Actually, it's a befitting day to celebrate because Kenya has been going through some of these issues.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're talking about not just what happened last year in 2024, or rather on the 25th of June 2024, but we know that this country has had a history of torture. We know that Albert Ojwang, before he met his death, was tortured.
Yeah.
Because there are reports that he was taken to Karura. There are reports that people were brought into his cell to punish him and so on and so forth. So, and
even the Gen Zs who were abducted like last year.
Actually, there are people that are missing.
Yeah.
Who were abducted hours ago. Some even several days ago.
And when they come out, of course, they come and narrate stories of torture.
And people think that torture could be ulichapa makofi kidogo ukafinywa mahali. But even just mental torture, that's torture.
Yeah.
When someone is mentally abusing you while you're in captivity, when someone even denies you basic rights such as food, shelter, clothing while you're in captivity. Sometimes you can be tied to a tree and whipped and so on and so forth. So different kinds of torture people experience.
I remember the kind of torture that Boniface Mwangi also narrated about.
Sexual torture, yes.
All the way from Tanzania to Kenya. Imagine you are handcuffed.
Yeah. Blindfolded.
Yes.
You have no idea where you're being taken.
And then, you just hear people talk.
Yep.
Alafu wanaongea vile watakufanyia mabaya. And then now you are being driven to some place you do not know.
That is psychological
then
torture. Then
unaenda umechukishwa. You do not know where you are.
True.
Yeah, so those are the kinds of things that now the world is trying to oppose. Yeah. So the message there is honoring survivors and opposing torture.
Right.
That is for today's.
Such a befitting day to remember people all over the world, not just in Kenya, that are going through these issues. Another
day we are celebrating, or we are observing, is the International Day Against Drug and Illicit drug abuse and illicit trafficking. This raises awareness and promotes global cooperation to combat drug abuse. All right. Also that one. We know our country is facing a couple of those issues, drug issues, substance abuse, and so on and so forth. So yeah, a good day to commemorate that one. But I will emphasize on that one, on torture, because it literally brought us to where we were yesterday, and perhaps will define what will happen to this country politically going forward. All right. Do you have our quote now? Yeah. Our RGK train taking us to some unknown destination, to some unknown person who said that somebody who said this. I want to read for you what he said. This is, he said, a nation's strength is not in its silence after chaos, but in the honest conversations that follow. Come again. It says, a nation's strength is not in its silence after chaos, but in the honest conversations that follow. Are we ready for that conversation, though? Are we ready as a country for that conversation? Of course, some of us are ready. And that is why yesterday we saw Kenyans in the streets. On the streets? 27 counties joined maandamano yesterday. 27 out of 47. Yeah? That means there should be some conversations happening somewhere. The public is ready for that conversation. Yeah. Is the political elite ready for the conversation? Because it is the politicians that... The reason why people were in the streets yesterday is because of the political class. Kweli urongo. And kweli? Yes, we are saying we need to end police brutality. Yes, we are saying that we need to remember those who died at the hands of our security agents. But at the end of the day, policy makers, the politicians, are the ones who will come down and say, okay, fine, guys, let's have a conversation around this. Well, I don't want to just make a conclusion for them. Right. But this is what I think, depending on what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, you remember there was supposed to be some business in the parliament. And of course, because of numbers, business did not continue. Right. Watu hawakukuja. Something we even mentioned, I think, a few days earlier. Yeah, they did not come. Yeah. A majority of so business did not happen. And again, you saw the president went we are not saying that he should not have attended the burial of the father to the Kilifi governor, Mungala. We are not saying that he wasn't supposed to go there. Right. But then, so that you get to know that this might not be that serious to them, is he went. And I was expecting that he would have just okay, ni sawa kwenda kule ni wakati mchache sana, si ndio kwenda kwa mazishi, and we know president akienda mahali akai sana, and especially in such kind of events, right? Right. So we are expecting that the president would have just been so keen and so concerned with what is happening. Why do I feel like because it's like it's no problem. There's a family in mourning, so we cannot and I don't think we should actually even talk about that family. Wako na shida zao zenye wanapitia. Now for the president, yes, he went to condole with the family of the governor, which is quite okay. However, this country has got several choppers. He could have flown back to Nairobi to handle business. All right. Aya. Pia akiwa pale ilikuwa ni Kilifi. Yes, it's Kilifi.
Mombasa si mbali sana. There's a
there
state
were
house.
also protesters also
Yes,
there.
there's a state house in Mombasa. He could have gone there and addressed the issue from State House Mombasa.
Yeah.
Or should I say Mombasa State House?
State House Mombasa.
Yeah, so he could have, like, there were very many places where the throne of the president is, and he could have gone and addressed the issue. He could have even just, after the funeral or the burial, or even just, excuse himself, asema say, yes, nimekuja hapa, poleni sana, pole governor, pole wala watu wengine hapa hivi wamekuwa affected na hii, watu wa Kilifi poleni, lakini sasa kuna mali, kuna waka moto. I need to go and sort that out.
Yeah.
And he could have gone and sorted that out.
We do not know what happened later, actually. We are not aware, maybe, but the point is, there's something that you had pointed out, that the government will recognize days like tumekuwa na ile ya Mashujaa Day. What were we celebrating?
Mashujaa wetu. Mashujaa wetu ndio tulikuwa tuna celebrate. Na ndio huwa tuna celebrate.
What about yesterday?
Now yesterday, let me tell you the reason why yesterday.
Were those people not
let me tell you why the government couldn't declare that as a national holiday. Number one, it came from the opposition.
The opposition.
And the opposition here are the people. I'm not even talking about Kalonzo or Maraga or anyone else. I'm talking about the people. The people declared this day for them was a public holiday. Now there's of course there's a process of declaring a public holiday. The cabinet has got to convene and decide, and a lot of things have got to happen. There's a legal process. You just don't wake up one day and then say, okay, 25th June. No.
Let me tell you something. Before you finish,
I also don't think the government had realized the gravity of this matter. But yes, I'll allow you.
Okay, I think just to tell you, the government knew very well this is gonna happen. This is not something that caught the government by surprise. That is one thing that we need to agree, because it is something that has been imekuwa ikisemwa. Watu wamekuwa kisema we will come 25th of June. Tutaenda. I think like what our guest yesterday said, I think serikali tu ingechukua ikasema kwamba okay, these are Kenyans who died, right?
Yeah.
Whatever they were pushing for ni vitu zenye ni genuine.
Ni kweli?
Yeah. Whatever these people were pushing for, they are genuine things. So the government would have just said, okay, how can we work with these people then? So that
Trisha,
we ensure that whatever is going to happen, because whatever happened yesterday could not have happened if maybe the government ingekuwa ilingilia pale ikasema kwamba okay, those are young people we lost them as they were trying to fight for fellow Kenyans, Trisha, for their rights.
Are you aware that the government has never admitted the atrocities of last year, 25th June 2024?
Oh,
are you aware of that?
That is where now the problem begins. Yes.
So if you do not first of all admit that it happened, how will you then admit at this point in time, 1 year later, that now you'll declare this as a public holiday, yet you haven't even recognized what happened on that particular day? The government hasn't apologized through any of its agents, whether it's the president, CSs, whoever. No one has come out to say, but they guys, sorry. Even the police has not come out to say, pole. Number one, they've not even they've never declared how many people died. The only person who's got numbers of who died at what point and in which constituency or in which county are agencies such as the Red Cross, Kenya Human Rights Commission, and probably some UN agencies, and of course basically other agencies, civil rights groups, and so on and so forth. But the government itself has never come out and said that 63 people lost their lives last year. These numbers were abducted because the government has never admitted, apart from something that the president said a couple of weeks ago when he met during
the prayer day. Yeah,
and apart from that particular time, he has never admitted that indeed people were abducted. It has never come out, because even after that particular speech that the president gave, CS Murkomen alikuja akasema, we did not say that we abducted as a government. We are just saying that abductions won't happen again. Whoever abducted ndio tumesema hata abduct tena, but we as government did not abduct. So you understand? So, until the government agrees to those things, yes, they can never ever give you a public holiday just because you've asked for one. They won't.
Well, so now our quote